claims we are live.
You're live?
I see a picture now, so it's more. You may have to refresh the page to show up.
Hello to anyone that's there. Starts of these are never very smooth for us. We are always a little, hey, happy stitching. Are you working on something
Hello.
tonight?
With bus? No, us.
I've already thrown a kink into everything and changed my project once, so make no guarantees.
How do I get...
This is gonna be fairly boring stitching. Ooh, 2 days. That's a tight window. I wish you luck. I was so gung-ho about getting finishes in November, and then I just kind of stopped. I mean, it is only, what, the 6th?
That is correct. It is just the 6th.
I realized my nano stitchmo goals were pretty unrealistic.
As I figure out how to get the word out that we're live.
Yes, he is spreading word on social media. And I am stitching. It's had a really long day today. I did not start my day stitching, which has been my routine the past few days, which has been nice. And then I was a little grumpy today that I didn't continue. Jen Grumpy, I know, is a very foreign concept to anyone.
That never happens.
Especially Brandon. He's
Lies
never seen
and-
that side of me before.
Lies and slander.
That you've never seen that side, or that...
It's all, just whatever it is, it's lies and slander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, screen seemed fine.
I love this project, but it is on 40 count, and I forgot that when I pulled it in. And for some reason, Autumn Gold, which is what I'm stitching it on, is really hard for me to see. It's not so bad now that I'm not skipping around and I'm just doing the checkerboard, but jeez.
Where did I leave off with this stupid horse?
Mine's totally boring because it's blocks of color. That's it. And we're gonna possibly be very upset when I get over and I haven't counted right and things are not perfect.
Believe if that happens, there's no possible upset. I believe it'll just be upset.
I'm supposed to have some illusion of the fact that I'm still calm, cool, and collected, but I would lose my mind. Did you give her a thing, or is she just showing off?
No, I gave her a treat.
that is 2 stitches. So yeah, it's been a long week.
It's been...
I mean, he did his marathon on Saturday, and so I stitched for a while too. And I didn't last the 24 hours. He did. He didn't stitch, but
No, but I was awake for 24 hours straight, and that was... Well, I'm still recovering from that. I'm too old
he
for
was a
that
little
stuff.
grumpy. He did really good.
I was okay until someone came in at the very end and was trying to be funny.
Someone on his Twitch channel, like not me coming into the room. Like
No, some rando on Twitch. For like the last half hour, I had been on camera the entire time, but for the last half hour, I was like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm done. I just kind of want to sit here and run out the half hour. And so I turned face cam off, but still had mic on, everything else, and just. Person came in and was like, "You'll get more followers with face cam." I was like, you know what? Goodbye.
Yeah. I only lasted till about 1:30 because I ended up going into church with my mom and helping her with something she was working on, so I wanted to make sure that I was at least somewhat rested before that. But it's amazing, like all week I've just been like, oh my god, I haven't stitched in such a long time, I just want to stitch. Like I literally stitched from 8 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, and it's never enough. People just don't get the fix it gives. Watson Lee, are you being good?
She's like, I'm eating my treat.
Stop tearing chompings.
It gets soggy toward the end. It's one of the roll hides.
Oh.
She's like, I'm just chewing through some of this cross stitch, trying to help you get through it.
I know, she would. She's actually so gentle with my stuff. Like, she'll lay on the top of the couch. She always lays on the back of the couch. That's where I always put, like, my project bag and my pattern and stuff that I'm not working with. And she will just, like, very gingerly lay her head on top of them. Like, don't forget about me, Mom. Mayhem is taken to laying there as well. She's not so nice about it.
She's the nicest.
I hung up the scary cat picture for work today. Makes Brandon mad because I totally provoked her to get the picture. But it's like the truest representation of the spirit that is Mayhem. So.
But it's not, because you have to provoke it to get it out.
No, because that is
who
she is.
If you didn't have to provoke it, you would just be able to candidly capture it. But you can't.
She wants to be that all the time.
She does not.
She just knows she wouldn't have a house here
anymore. You wonder why she doesn't want to lay next to you and...
She won't. She will not come to bed if I'm in the bed.
She waits till you leave.
She will sleep with Brandon and Watson, but as soon as I come to bed, she's like, nope, I'm out of here. We have a very love-hate relationship, me and him.
And Watson's her mortal enemy.
But I also printed out pandemonium pictures because I decided that even though she is no longer alive, she deserved to have representation in my office. And the lady I shared the office with was like, they look the same. And I was like, no, maybe
What?
that picture, but they're very different.
I mean,
Coloring and stuff.
I was
It's
gonna
just
say, one's gray,
like,
one's
well,
black.
but it accentuated, like, it didn't show Pandy as like a tortie. It was just kind of like, and like, because May's got that calico spot in her front, like where she's a very solid colored gray cat,
No.
the picture accentuates her calico. I cannot get my needle thread. That is my... I think that we need to figure out a way that I can be sitting on the couch and doing this.
Just drill a hole through this one, out to the other one. I'm sure they make a longer USB cable.
Yeah.
So if we just drilled a couple of holes.
When's the last time? Isn't that on... Oh, it's on Ada. I thought that was on...
No, it's Wayne the Blob that's on. Some form of
The weird Ada.
linen or linen byproduct.
Hey, Kia. I am a fan of John James needles. I always use John James size 28. Brandon uses a size 24 needle. And right now, he's been, well, he got a couple of the ballpoint ones.
Yes.
And he can tell you his feeling.
I prefer the needles that allow me to put tiny X's onto a fabric, which then makes an overall picture. I don't have a particular preference in needle. I got the ballpoints to try them out. They're okay. I don't have any issues. I guess the only issue is it's sometimes hard to sink the thread in from the back when you're done because it's a ball, not a point. Hence the name. And the eye is a little smaller, so it makes them harder to the thread. But other than that, it's a good needle. It's just...
And I don't like them because from what I've heard, because I'm always on like 40 count and 36, they're better for bigger counts. And
my pattern writing isn't coming because the font I wanted to use, I can't get it to be...
It doesn't translate into X's very well.
It's not. Or I lack the skill necessary to translate it into X's properly.
I think it would need a lot of half stitches in order for it to work.
What is 8? 8 is 318.
Have you done the John James petites? Because I haven't used petites very often, but I may be trying them I buy my John James in bulk from eBay and have like a
Million
plethora
of them.
of them for all 80 of my whips.
Yeah, I'll have to figure something out, Kia.
And you use them on the bigger counts? I feel like my fingers are just so clumsy when I try the petites. I don't know why. My mom has some upstairs. I'm just gonna have to steal some.
Yo.
Today.
This channel does not endorse theft or thievery of any kind.
Okay. It's not thievery if it's my mom's.
I mean, I don't think that'll hold up in court.
I think it might. I have one kind of needle right now that I bought a pack of and I don't like, but I don't remember what they were. I just know that some of my projects have them and I get really like annoyed because the thread just falls out too quickly.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It might be.
I didn't take at all.
What didn't? Oh, you pulled through.
What did he end up going with?
And I want to hear how your guys' 24 went. I was enjoying the updates. Back. I don't know why this is just not, and I can sit at like crap gallery for hours and stitch and be fine.
It's,
I don't know if it's because I'm trying to sit with my feet up.
it's she's here with me. She's trying to get
Yeah,
out
I
of
know.
it.
Don't want to spend time with you at all. Oh, I definitely didn't realize I had this sweatshirt on. I thought it was the stitch gun.
Oh.
No wonder the sleeves are bothering me. Hi, Watson Lee. Little pitter patter.
Did you finish your treat?
Did you get some water? You always get very thirsty after those treats. He is looking it up as we speak. Read, talk, something.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that is cool. It reminds me of the.
It's skulls and spiders and owls.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
No, somebody's doing that. Who's doing that? Is it
Nathan.
No, that started it. It's I'm looking.
Dark fabric with bone color thread. That would be neat. Yeah. Yeah, that seems huge. Like just looking at it.
Yeah, it was Park Hopper Bart just finished his. He took out some of the bands, but it looks really good. Or he's Park Hopper Bart on Instagram, and I think he floss tubes too. Oh, I really like the idea of it inverted. I wanted to do that with one of the. I almost did that with Weavers, Magical Weavers. So we did. We missed out on the group rate, but we got a room booked. So how about you guys? And we booked it for Wednesday, I think. Couldn't believe how quickly the blocks went. Not that I'm ever quick to respond to much of anything, so really shouldn't surprise me. But
any convention, regardless of type, as soon as a room block gets released, it's gonna go.
Awesome. Yeah, we haven't figured out what we're doing with our dog yet. I don't know if that amount of time is gonna. I feel like it's gonna stress my dad too much to watch her, and probably in effect than me. So
So I'm just not getting to come.
no, that's not
She's
true.
making me stay and watch the dog.
Probably bite the bullet and board her. Hello, thanks for joining
I
in.
will stay home.
You're not staying home.
No, we're not boarding her. That's just
Why not?
stupid.
That's what normal people do.
When the hell have I ever been normal?
You're going to Stitch Con.
Me and Watson will get our own room. See? Kia understands.
I am here saying that he is allowed to come.
And this is how she gets away with it. Oh, we need someone to watch the dog. You gotta stay home. Shame.
Ooh, that'd be cool on a Marvel thing. There's gotta be some out there. Thank you. I know they do, but like I'm nervous about her being in the room and hearing all the people and like barking and stuff, and then us feeling like we can't be down at like stitching time. 'Cause I don't know how she'll do. I'm a little anxiety ridden about things with my dog. I don't have kids, so she's kind of been that thing.
As far as Marvel stuff, Etsy's always a good place to start. I don't know if it had any Marvel stuff, but this pattern's from Nerd Pillow. I think she either has an Etsy store or has her own website. I can't remember which.
She's Etsy.
I felt like it said on the front there, but
I'm pretty sure it was off Etsy. So I think the
yeah,
only
this
ones-
one's is Cloud Factory is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking
that's
of.
what-
Cloud Factory is another website you can try. They have nerdy stuff. But I don't know for Marvel because I've not looked for Marvel things.
But they have what? You're doing that one, and don't they have a Mario one of the similar to what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I have a Mario
so
sampler
I would say
too,
chances
but
are high that they might have
something
Marvel-ish.
either Etsy or there.
What kind of dog do you have? Oh, that's so fun. I really enjoy that Brandon stitches. It's just been a nice thing for us to do. Although I have to find that balance because I told him we have to start playing board games. Aww, this sounds adorable. Watson's a dachshund corgi mix. She's a spoiled brat. That's awesome. I like doing it that way because then you're putting like stitches in on everything. I know. Brandon and I are good because like
Well, that's
we
why
don't
she
stitch
stitches
on the same things.
She stitches with linen, and I take care of the Ada.
We started to cross over with like floss a little bit. He's starting some of the more. I mean, I was a solely DMC person for a very long time. But I do a lot of gentle arts now.
Is that what I picked up for Templar?
Yes.
I really want to start that. But I got a million other things.
Hey, I got my whips down to 80. Pretty impressed, pretty proud of that thing.
I mean, I've got fewer than that, but if I add any more, I don't feel like I'm going to ever accomplish anything.
Yeah, we wanted a corgi, but we were going to adopt a beagle, and it fell through, and I was super sad that it fell through. And so we started looking, and we couldn't find any, like, pure corgis, and then we found her,
we
which
could,
is,
but they were
out of our price range. So we found her, and it was like, she's a dorgy. And I just, fell in love a little bit.
A little bit.
Her name was Buttercup, though. It did not fit her. She was the runt of the litter, and
Extra Life was good. I was awake for 24 hours straight. And
I would note that the years before he has done 25, though, and he did not this year.
Yeah, well. I think if I'd have went midnight to midnight, I think I would have done better. Because, like, it hit midnight, and I was like, I'm ready to be done. I mean, technically, it is only a 24-hour marathon, so.
I'm not messing with you. I mean, I am a little bit.
Yes. That's why I'm messing back. That's probably really annoying to the mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like you would know. You can't hear it on their end.
I can imagine. I can sympathize.
Empathize. There you go.
And wish everyone well that had to endure that.
In other news, massive cross-stitch selection going up on eBay later tonight.
Shut up. He's lying.
It will be going for pennies on the dollar.
We've always just adopted our cats. So they've all been shelter cats.
And SPCA specials.
For the most part, we've had good luck. I mean, we've kept them all.
We'll see how.
Mayhem's just a little special, but I don't know how she was scarred in her life, because she was like...
She's not scarred. She's a princess.
Tiny little thing when I got her. I love it.
No, I swear it was on sale and for 3/4 of the price. There's no way.
Yeah, we've had that discussion about my cross stitch stuff too. Like, he knows it's going on to people, and like, it's just not.
Absolutely. If she dies before me, it will definitely go on to people for free. There's no way that I would ever sell it because I know how much some of that stuff is, especially the out of print things.
Hey, did you see Prairie Moon is re-releasing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they are putting all their stuff out as PDFs right now.
Well, that's...
And they're going to start designing again, which is super exciting. Their PDFs are a little pricey, though. I was a little surprised. But I'm very, very excited.
I'm impressed. I mean... I'm impressed but not surprised. cross stitch.
I think it's really smart of them.
Oh, no, it's definitely really smart.
Their patterns were going for ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
And that always just kind of bothers me.
Well, yeah, no, it's ridiculous that the out of print stuff gets like so pricey, and especially I'm a Magic the Gathering player, and so like the secondhand market for Magic is ridiculous for some cards because the company won't reprint some things and they've set it, so those cards are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But Wizards never sees any of that money. Wizards of the Coast people who make Magic, because it's all done on the secondhand market. So it's smart on Prairie's Moon's behalf to get in here and A, cut the rug out from those people who are just gouging the prices because it's out of print. And B, it puts the money back in their pocket from...
Yeah, it's hard with a PDF to justify a high cost.
Well, no, it's upsetting that the PDF is high.
You can, always pass it on afterwards, or you can do that. You're not supposed to do that with a PDF.
Yeah, no, it's a shame they've not priced properly, but maybe they'll work that out after.
Yeah, I was just excited
come
to
back.
see them back. Because
no, it's definitely.
It's all I do, Crystal. It's literally like, okay, I need to get home because I have to make some X's. I get up early before work, and then if we're sitting and just watching TV, like I'm a person that needs to have something in my hands, which was why I started doing this, and then. I also like that it tends to keep me from snacking, so I liked that as well. So, when we're watching a TV show or anything like that, I'm stitching. And then for me, it's my calm, it's my regulation, it's how I center myself, which I don't really understand how that works, but
it's essentially ASMR for you, so.
But we don't have any children. We don't really do much outside of our house.
I'm not allowed to leave the basement.
Yeah, he doesn't leave the basement, and I was telling him though, he has a job where he could stitch while he was kind of working. I mean,
kinda.
I just was like, I want to be able to do that while I'm working. But I can't.
I don't stitch like you do, so it's harder. I don't...
Breathe it?
I feel like I'm such a much more slower stitcher. I just don't...
Yeah.
And to have to, put down and remember where, and it's just I just would rather... not worry about it.
For you, if highlighting on your pattern would be helpful. Seriously, Kia, I thought I was such a fast stitcher. I did start counting my stitches again for November because I had this grand scheme that I was going to get 50,000 stitches in for the month of November. But I had no real concept of how many 50,000 was. And so I stitched literally all day on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1:30, and I didn't get very many stitches in. I think I got
6.
Yeah, 6 stitches. I finished 3 or 4 of the acrostic letters, but it was not as much as I kind of thought. So I'm there's no way. I have not tried it yet, Kia. My concern is it's narrower than the other one, and I don't think it's going to fit in my traveler's notebook because of that. Because the other notebooks that I have to fill it are the size of the word I cannot pronounce. Because I've never heard it, so I've made something up in my head.
What word is this?
That journal, the something.
I'd have to see the word.
It's also not... It's a different language.
Wow, racist.
I'm loving that more males are getting into this. I think it's so cool, and it's just...
I mean, as long as they get the memo.
That you have to have a beard and
you have to be bald and have a beard. Or we don't really let you in the club. We just sit behind you and laugh awkwardly.
It was so funny. I love that. I can't wait for StitchCon. Oh, good.
See, that's all it takes.
Where are you guys at? Where do you live?
We're definitely going to have to come up with a shtick for StitchCon.
I can't even prepare myself for what StitchCon is going to be this year. I'm excited. I think just going in and like having some faces too is going to help me just know that I'm okay. I'm not so overwhelmed.
I may bring a marker to StitchCon and just sign people's heads like Ricky Bobby. I've now decided.
I may not be married to him when we come to StitchCon. I would also like it to note that he says that you have to be bald and have a beard, but he has the most full head of hair I have seen on him in a long time right now.
Yeah, but that's just because I'm lazy.
Well, I think that you need to not be lazy when it comes to shaving your head. Your face? Okay. Your head? Nope. So I mapped out all of my goals for 2020 with finishes, and so I'm doing that. We proposed in the 24-hour group to do like an acrostic with the whole alphabet. So I have all my what I want to finish for each letter planned out.
Yes, I will be at StitchCon this year as well.
So I'm already gearing heavy for 2020 stitches. Will you be there? Oh my goodness, my stomach is gurgling. I apologize if it is audible. The merch should be hysterical. On a plus note, I'm pretty sure my counting was right on this.
Oh no.
Super sad. Yeah,
It's like you're missing a block.
It'll come all the way down.
Some of those black ones are a little short though.
They are. Because I was doing the across first to make sure that it fit.
Oh, that's
and then I have all this other fabric here because I was scared to cut it if I didn't cut straight. So I will cut it once the border's done. Yeah, so it goes all the way around. I love this piece. My first primitive needle. Pretty sure his ADA is Picture This Plus.
Yeah, it's not a Nothing against Joanne Zeta, because I've used plenty of it, but it's not.
Well, he doesn't use Joanne Zeta. He uses Charles Craft.
Oh, what?
Which is different because Joanne does put out fabric.
Oh, do they put out? Oh.
Yeah, he and.
Hashtag I don't know.
I know, that's why I clarified.
Hashtag.
They may just put out linen, but I know they at least do that.
This is a fabric. To which I can put tiny X's on. Therefore, in order to make a whole picture.
Great choice for read aloud.
Alright, good night.
Thanks for checking in, Kia. Put the wrong sweatshirt on and my sleeves are annoying me.
Hi, Watson.
So do you like the Picture This Plus Ada?
Yeah, once.
Because is that the one that you're doing 2 strands on though? Like you're doing
one.
You're doing one.
I was originally doing 2 and I didn't like it. I felt it looked too busy. Or it didn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had to switch to 1 strand. I think it looks better.
Oh, that's right.
Because eventually I'll rip that out. But
Oh, okay. The primitive needle chart I totally lucked out on because I'm in a Facebook group with Cheryl from Tranquil Stitches, and she runs challenges, and you do the stitching to earn tokens in a shop that she puts out. And happened to be that one of the shop items was this piece. So I hardcore did the challenges. It was like, if I can get my hands on primitive needle, I'm doing it. And then I met Laura at at our stitch-in at the craft gallery, and she's stitching the Parcheesi board in this series. So we're gonna swap when we're done. So I'll be able to do the other one too. And I owe her an email, and I haven't done it, and I'm a terrible person. And my needle was in my mouth, which was why it was mumbling. But I haven't seen, I'm not good at finding the out-of-print stuff. I stumbled on some Prairie Moons back in the day. The stockings. And I have one good housewife, but this was a total fluke. Personal unicorns.
I don't really have one. More so for the simple fact that, like, for the most of what I've wanted to cross stitch is either easily found on Etsy or any of the designers that I've started to like or are still designing. They're more like newer designers or more contemporary.
Yeah.
So like Long Dog and Ink Circles.
I mean, Long Dog does have some out of print stuff.
But anything of theirs I've seen, I've been able to get my hands on. So, because I just picked up their Templar Prophecy.
Yeah, it was a new release.
Which was a new release
or newish, I think.
It's new.
The last time I wrote this out, I did And They Sinned because it's just such an epic piece. And a bunch of people were like, you can still get that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So that's up there for me. Anything Primitive Needle, like Black Sky and I really lucked out and gotten most of the,
yeah.
I found a lot of them before, like, because when I got back into stitching, it was like Prairie Moon was still designing, and they were the designer that got me back into it. So I had picked up Thine is a Trick or Treat, which I knew was a bunch of people. Yeah, I always use sewing method.
And that's what I was taught, so that's all I've used. I tried putting this in a hoop and doing with it, but
Yeah, you did. I forgot that.
it didn't last long.
Do you use a hoop or a scroll or a...
One of those large wooden mechanical things that look like a loom. What is that?
That's a scroll.
Is that a scroll?
Well, there's like lap stands for scrolls, and then there's the Q-snaps, and then there's hoops.
I know there's Q-snap and hoops. I didn't know what the other thing was called.
I think it's called a scroll. I just get so nervous when I have to put it in a Q-snap if, like, I'm gonna ruin the stitch. I don't understand how that happens, and I do use it. I have one piece on a Q-snap right now because I'm stitching it 1/1, and I do find it easier. If I'm just doing like a word here or there, I'll do it in hand, but I do punch and stab when I do that, so...
Yeah, I feel like Q-snaps and hoops serve the same functionality.
But, like, does it... I mean, obviously it doesn't because other people don't have a problem with it, but I just get nervous that it's gonna, like, pull my stitches when I snap it in. I don't know. I always make my mom do it. That and French knots. I still have not perfected that. Brandon can do them and I can't. I said that really snotty-like, and I didn't mean it to come out that way.
No, it's okay. Just disparage my good deeds. Oh, come. Though when she says I can do French knots, I could not do one if you asked me to do one right now.
Yeah, but you can read or look up.
I was gonna say I have to look up.
You can emulate that. I have not perfected that even yet. Good luck on a Haid. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, that stuff just seems bananas to me.
I mean, the closest I've come was the full coverage I did for the Zelda map, but that's not like the confetti stitching and that kind of stuff like a Haid has. That was just like pixels. So I cannot even imagine. Are you gonna do like parking and that kind of stuff too? Like, I just, that's such a different way to stitch. I tried to do one the other day and I was like, this isn't right, but it's fine. It's good enough.
I
just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I have to go switch sweatshirts because the arms on this are bothering me. Oh god, I'm too old. Oh.
I I don't think I could keep track of that many different floss colors to do parking, like to remember what was what. I mean, I guess there's probably a way you remember or label or whatever, but I mean, I guess theoretically you just look back at your pattern, but that's a lot of. It probably is easier than you expect. It's another one of those things. It's like I'm never going to do that, so it's just like, eh. I will allow it to be a foreign and mysterious concept to me.
I love that you're stitching movie posters. When I first got back into stitching, when I met Brandon, we got like one of the softwares that you can do the pictures, like convert them to patterns. And so I had found like this really cool poster from one of the Decemberist tours, and I still think it would be a really cool cross stitch.
Mm.
And I converted it, and it was going to be like a ridiculous amount of stitches and colors, but nothing wrong with more whips. I have been like, I'm very much in that analytical, like, let's review my year, let's plan for next year's stage right now. And so I was making some, like, category lists of how many whips I had when I started the year. So, like, I had 27 whips coming into this year. I currently have 80. But I've also finished 69 pieces this year. So,
Nice.
I just think, there's no right or wrong way to do this. If having multiple projects is something you're fine with, go for it. If it stresses you out, don't do it. Be a monogamous stitcher. There's no right or wrong. Just because you have a bunch doesn't mean you have to not have finishes either, though. I have tried rotations in the past, and I tend to burn myself out on them because I make too many rules, and then I
don't follow them anyway.
Brandon likes it when I change rules and thinks it's cheating.
I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Currently, what I'm doing is I do the 24-hour acrostic, and I try to get at least 1,200 for every letter. So that's kind of like my rotation. I had been doing on the holiday calendars, trying to go for finishes for the ones I'm using for those. But other than that, I don't really have like a rotation plan. Doing the challenges has helped me like pull different projects out and get like a fair amount of progress. That's awesome. Aww. That's so fun. I have to say I've like neglected smalls for a long time, and this year I ended up starting a bunch of them, and I'm really glad I did. Because eventually they'll be finished into pillows or whatnot. And oh, I totally get it, Crystal. Totally get it. I've used the like random, the wheels and the things for a while. I was doing anytime, I'd work on a project until I got a page finish or a finish and then switch. But I realize I have to give myself the freedom that if I'm not feeling the project, that it's okay to put it down and not work on it. Like technically, this is not in my rotation plan because I have 4 more letters in the acrostic right now. I've already put my 1,200 stitches on this for the month, so I wasn't going to work on this. But the one I pulled out to have in here tonight just wasn't, I knew I couldn't see it on the fabric, so it would be hard to tell, and I'm not as familiar with it, and the other ones are like really big projects that I was like, there's too much fabric for this space. I think Pick to Pat was the thing I used for the December's poster way back when. And then we found the Edgar Allan Porg thing that we tried to convert into a pattern. Because I think that would be a fantastic cross stitch. Yeah, you gotta make it fit into your life and your schedule, and you know what's feasible for you. And I've struggled this year because I've gone a little too, I think, over hardcore into it. And so we've neglected some other things in our life, and I'm like, okay, we've got to stop that. The Porg one, he got so big, it like wouldn't transfer.
Like,
and then
yeah, I mean, the image was on like the back, like it was a drawing to begin with, and like the background was like, it wasn't just like a hard white, it was like kind of yellowish, so they, like any pattern maker we try to put it through would try to like compensate for the yellow background and add it in, and like I tried going in with paint and like fixing it, and it got us closer, but it got to the point where it was more aggravation, so it was like, this is not, it was kind of ruining what the payoff would have been of it being a pattern.
Yeah. Exactly, Crystal. And I think that's honestly why I've taken like a back seat in some of the challenge groups, is I'm just like, I just need to get my system going, not, I don't know. And I got really super burnt on counting stitches. I'm trying a new system this month where I just kind of count after I've stitched. I don't know how that's working. Spent a lot of time counting stitches the other day, and his eye is on the sparrow. I was like, oh, whoops. But I also realized I felt like I was taking so much time away from my stitching to count stitches that I was like, I could be getting so many more X's in if I just wasn't worried about this. But then I also really like to have the data. And I realized, I know that there have been people that have been like, if you stopped making lists and you stopped, making a whip wall, you would have more time to stitch. But
it's part of the process for you.
It is. It really. I enjoy those aspects, and organizing the thoughts and getting them out of my head is just as rewarding to me as like.
Well, it's just as much a part of cross stitching as putting the X's onto a project for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Challenges got me back in, and I will always be grateful that they did that for me, because I was struggling. And I really like the connections, which is why, we're continuing to put out the 24-hour ones. But it just needed a little break. And I didn't even do the 24-hour ones last month. Like, I was so excited about October, and then I totally
October kind of.
But I was getting to the point, like, I have a whole system. When I get my patterns, I scan them. I have folders, scan them for myself. I'm not like passing patterns along, but I do better with
just on the black market
electronic versions of things. And so I have a whole system when I get them because I work off working copies and then I don't have to print them or copy them. And I wasn't even doing that, so we had bought all these patterns and I didn't even have a record, so I took a lot of time in October to get that
Just
sorted.
get everything back in order.
Crystal, there's several challenge groups out there. There's Magical Stitches, which is on Facebook. That's the group that got me into it. And it's Harry Potter themed.
Currently,
So you're all split into the different houses at Hogwarts and stitching for points. So you're going for like a house cup. They will be doing, come January, Harry Potter will be ending and they're going more to like a Disney theme. And for me, I'm not a Disney person, so it didn't appeal to me as much, whereas Harry Potter was very relevant to me. And so I think it kind of just was like, oh, I'm not going to, that's not going to be my thing anymore. Cheryl Tranquil Stitches also runs a challenge group. She's on Facebook, but I think it might be, I think it's capped right now. I don't know when she's allowing more members in. We also, the 24-hour group, we release monthly challenges. And we'll continue to do that next year. And I know there's more out there. There's Year of the Whips, which is soulful stitching. I know she does some. I think there's like an Enchanted Stitchers right now. There's something going on with the Hunger Games where people are like stitching tribute and things. So wait, okay, you're using one strand. I have to talk to Brandon for a second. You're using one strand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you pull the whole thing out?
Yeah.
So what I would do is
I've been cutting them in half.
right, but I wouldn't even pull it all out.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'm showing you.
I don't.
You don't want me to?
No,
I pull out a little bit like that and then I snip and I just pull out half. Because that way I don't have to...
Being the stitching police over here.
I'm not. I'm just telling you how I do it because then I don't have to keep track of what color is where and pulled out if I'm only needing like one strand. Sorry, I'm done lecturing my husband. I lost all these watchers when I did that.
I know, because they were like, we don't want the stitching
like,
police.
Oh,
We just-
being a bitch.
We just had this whole conversation
Sorry,
about no
sorry.
stitching police.
I know, and then I turned into one. What's that?
And then wee woo, wee woo. I've not read the Hunger Games books. I've seen the one movie. That's not a world I want to be in.
No?
No. Listen.
I don't know. It has something to do with like other people can stitch for you, or I was very confused by it. I don't know in all the little groups.
I like being alive. And you don't even get a cool like offset like being able to be a wizard or no, you just
Oh, okay. So 24 hours. That was my thing because Brandon did Extra Life, and he did the gaming for 24 hours, and he's done it for the past 4 years. And I asked my mom if she thought we could stitch for 24 hours, and she said, well, sure. So February of last year, we ran our first marathon, just her and I, and we stitched for 24 hours. I started a different project every hour. I thought they were all small, and I thought I was going to leave the day with 24 finished projects. And I filmed. So we watched 24, the show, because we like themes. And then every 45 minutes, I would do a recap. And we just filmed the whole time, and it was pretty funny, if I do say so myself. You see me in ridiculous. We get hysterical, we do all that. So we filmed it and we put it out there, and people were like, well, why didn't you tell us about this? And we were like, because we didn't think we could really do it, and we didn't really think anybody would want to do this with us. And everybody was like, no, we want to. So we were like, okay, well, we'll run it again. So 2 months later, we ran another event where we did 24 hours straight. And we got a bunch of people that were like, I need to sleep. So I'm going to be team sleep. And but like the Facebook community really grew and took off. And then we started doing it like over a weekend where you had 48 hours to complete 24 hours. And we're very chill about it. Like, in order to participate, you do not have to stitch for 24 hours. It's just about the community that is present during that time, and people were very responsive to the fact that a lot of other people were stitching with them. So, from all over the world. So we've kind of run with it. We've run 5 official marathons. There's over 1,800 people in the Facebook group now, so it's all over the world. And we release monthly challenges. Brandon did the website that also does the challenges and the printables and all that kind of stuff because people wanted something on the off months that they could do. So we release an acrostic every month that you can kind of tie your stitching into the words if you want to. And you pick how many stitches you want to do, if you want to go for a time frame. It's very, very open-ended. It is just for the accomplishment of you doing it. We don't get into like giveaways. I mean, we do giveaways at times, but not related to your stitching.
No.
Next year we'll be doing 4 marathons and doing the challenges, and we are going to release like a year-long challenge other than just the monthlies. It's kind of where it's been at. It's been an amazing kind of run. It's been fun. Met a lot of people.
Okay, so there's also, and the other half of the website was some people were wanting to participate but not necessarily wanting to join Facebook because it started as a Facebook group, which is just the hashtag 24 hours across stitch if you're on Facebook.
Yeah, and it's on Instagram too, which is why we started it with the hashtag. So it's over there. But yeah, it's real chill. Like, it's whatever you can do. We've had a lot of people that do that. It's been fun to see. We had the first time we offered it to people or opened it up, there was a whole group in Toledo or Colorado that did like a grown-up sleepover, and so it's been a lot of fun. And then Brandon just did his 4th year of Extra Life was last weekend, and so we ran an unofficial one just because I was like, well, I can't let him video game for 24 hours after he sparked this whole thing. So I stitched for him. But we'll be releasing all of the dates for 2020 all at once so people know when the official ones will be. We're not going to do a full marathon in December this year because it's a busy month, but we're going to do something 12 hours, 12 days of Christmas-ish, 12 hours of Christmas, something. We're still fine-tuning the details. I understand, Crystal. Although mine is pretty good when he knows I'm doing this. He's better than I am for him. I'm like, oh, you're taking a break? Can you take the dog out? But yeah, it's been a very fun year for it. I've just enjoyed the community aspect, getting to know more stitchers.
There we go. That was weird. I had to tear out and was like through a stitch or something, and so I couldn't figure out where to pull out. Like it was.
Crystal, that's awesome. I love it when they get us. I don't know, I cross-stitch, I've had my hip replaced. I feel like I'm pretty old these days. Not much about my life that screams I'm young anymore.
Been on this planet longer than I have.
Oh, shut up. I'm older than Brandon, and it makes me mad every time I realize it.
Like 5 or 6 years.
Almost 2.
More than that. Maybe 2 times 2.
I don't know, I did something to my knee the other day and I woke up like hobbling and it's been awful the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Take some time for yourself. Make sure you're...
I don't know that acronym.
That's what my grandma did.
It doesn't tell me what that acronym is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
That's scary, really. Take time. And I yeah. My blood pressure doesn't like me, so I try to. My new job has been very like aware of like importance of like self-care, which is very kind of different than any place I've ever worked, and so they're very like mindful about mental health and wellness and, you know, taking time to breathe, and I'm just like, really? Oh, it's fine. We get the picture.
And my job doesn't allow you to take Mondays off.
I work in early childhood. I am a teacher coach with Head Start programs. I was a director at an early childhood center before we moved to Ohio. You said you're in special education?
I'm an intake coordinator for a mental health and drug and alcohol counseling agency. Yep. Not gonna last long tonight.
What'd you say?
Not gonna last long tonight.
I'm enjoying my job. I feel like I got really burnt when I was directing, and really thought I would leave the field completely, but it's been a good re-entry in, because it's a lot of the things I really liked about what I did without a lot of the things I didn't. Brandon worked in a very similar...
My job is work. It allows me to maintain a paycheck.
Yeah. But prior to that, he was working at a school for children with autism.
Yeah. Most of my job experience is mental health field related in a direct care role.
Well, I cross-stitch a lot.
I hang up the phone and scream obscenities a lot.
When I wasn't working and I would hear him hanging up the phone and screaming, it was a little like, oh my god, the phone is hung up, right? He's getting a lot of people at their worst moments, and so...
And you know what? I'm becoming like, I don't know if I'm becoming jaded or burnt out or what, but it's not even that. I had a dude call today, not even for services, and was saying apparently one of our offices ordered a package and it showed up in Parsippany at not one of our offices, just some random place. And he was like a dick to me. I was like, all right, well, let me get you over to this person so you guys can work out getting on it. He was like, I just wanted to know her package was here and what we're going to do about it. And I'm like, dude. Yes, people can hear us. I'm going to have to go back to regular needles. I just can't.
Are you using the ball now?
Yeah. I can't sink the threads underneath anymore. Like, the ball doesn't... I mean, I guess it's doing its job, technically, of, like, what it's supposed to, but it's not...
Yeah. I can't... I couldn't even with an LPN. I don't think I could. I totally fell into early childhood. This was not something that I ever felt like I would do, and...
What is this rat's nest?
I do enjoy it most days.
Mm-hmm. My first job was at a state psychiatric hospital for children.
You have stories.
And we were an acute care crisis facility, meaning as long as kids met certain criterion, we could not say no. So we got the worst of the worst for the state of Virginia. That's also why I have a bad back now.
Well, I would say early childhood is why I've had a fake hip for 4 years now.
Well, probably.
Pretty sure.
Well.
Well, what?
Well, my back is 3/4 of having to restrain a child for many hours one night, and then the following day going to a quack of a doctor who said it was because I needed to exercise more and lose weight. Which, while not entirely wrong, was not the reason I couldn't stand up straight.
Yeah.
I don't know what Baker acted means.
I don't know acronyms. I mean, I don't know your field.
It could be a regional thing. I don't know where
It
Crystal's
could be,
from.
yeah.
So. Was that involuntarily committed? Baker acted? I think in...
No, okay.
Okay. I think in Pennsylvania, Jersey, it's what, 302'd is what they...
I don't like I'm not my fields.
Florida. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure each region has its own variant of what it's called. I'm pretty sure the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, it's... People say they got 302'd. I guess that sounds... I don't know. Better than saying I was forcefully locked up in a nut house. Try to maintain some...
It was very draining, and Crystal, because it takes a lot. And I mean, my job now, we do a lot of trauma-based stuff with the families we're serving, and it's amazing what kids are going through.
It's a mess out there.
We were in Virginia. We met in Virginia. I lived in Charlottesville, and he lived in Staunton. And then we moved back. I'm from Philadelphia, so we moved there. And then recently, a year ago, we moved to Ohio, and where my parents are now living. So we are newly transplanted here. I've moved way too many times in my life. And so we'll be moving at least one more time because we are currently living in my parents' basement apartment. Which has been wonderful, but someday we will own a house again. Maybe not.
I'm just going to go straight to assisted living. Make someone else take care of things for me. But we are unmuted officially.
I've had like the longest week this week though. I am like...
Yeah. I was up for 24 hours over the weekend, so... But I finished Aponia.
What?
I finished Aponia.
Pony?
Aponia.
I don't know what that means.
Epona. The horse's name.
Okay.
It's E for Aponia.
I didn't complete any blocks fully on mine, but I did a whole row across.
But you didn't finish any blocks, so how did you do a whole row?
Because I did their width. I didn't do their full...
So you didn't do a full row.
They don't really look even, though. I guess it does.
They don't look at all.
What? This one. This is the only completed block.
I can tell. That's why you don't have a full row.
Well, I wanted to make sure that I was lined up over there.
Well, that's why you count.
Well, I did, but I didn't want to... I didn't know, because there was a lot of jumping around in this part. You're stitching police.
That's the cross-stitch police coming for you.
Is the volume back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like she's referencing when you could tell things were happening, but we weren't talking. No, we muted to discuss inappropriate things.
Sitting here. Because my leg is killing me.
And it's 4 minutes past my bedtime, so I think we're going to call it here for tonight.
We're hoping to be doing this more regularly, though.
Yeah, now that the past 2 weeks we've had things going on. End of October is typically busy for us, so.
Just the whole month of October, any big life event typically happens in that month for us.
Yeah, so.
And then I don't think I have a bunch of work trainings in the evenings coming up, but I think those are not on Wednesdays, so.
Okay, well then. We plan to be back next Wednesday, and so.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming out.
I'm glad to get to know some more people.
Glad to see talkers in chat.
Yes, thank you.
It makes this a lot easier.
Otherwise, we just sit and don't talk to each other.
I
And then
can't
it
wait
gets
for that.
awkward.
I'm
We're
kicking her out of
excited
my
to not
office.
have to speak to each other.
I know. She's invading my space in the basement. All right. Well, thanks for coming out and have a good night, guys.